This content is for kids.
It's not for kids.
Isn't that what I said?
No, it's not for kids. If you are 13 years or younger, this is not for you. Do I have to kill somebody in order to actually make that point across?
No, man, you don't have to kill no one.
Wait a second.
No.
We return to our planet. The High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies. We like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of SeptumSin versus the world. Here we are with another Halloween episode. So, today we're doing another pickup. And of course, because of the spooky season, all the pickups have to be Halloween or horror themed. Now I'm going to start with one that is on the line. And that is the Terry Gilliam film, 12 Monkeys. Now, it's about this future where there's this plague, and this guy comes back in time to stop it. Now, this was a pretty good film. I really enjoyed it many times. I have tried to get the best version of all of Terry Gilliam's films. He's one of the few Python brothers who, Pythons, essentially from Monty Python, that has kind of branched out into different cinema. And he's really let his wings spread when it comes to direction. And this is a really intense movie. I remember this being a little bit scary when I first watched it, but in truth, I was a horror noob back then. I was I never really liked horror growing up. I didn't really get into horror until way later in life. It wasn't until I got to adulthood, essentially, that I started to enjoy these types of films. This one is far more sci-fi than it is horror for me, but it's got some great people in it. It's got Bruce Willis, got Brad Pitt, and I like these kind of dystopian type films, and it does have quite the number of scares in it. So, if you haven't checked out 12 Monkeys, you should. It is a very, very good movie. Alright, next up we've got Blood Pledge. It's kind of weird. Last time I had like one item that I've seen. Now there's a lot of items I've seen. So Blood Pledge, Broken Promises is a part of a trilogy. With Memento Mori, Blood Pledge, and The Wishing Stairs. It's a Korean horror anthology, and this particular one is this suicide oath that these people take, but somebody chickens out, and actually all of them except for one chicken out, and they are basically haunted and killed one by one to basically come in with that suicide pledge. So this is very intense. This has, of course, trigger warnings for that, and it is actually very well done. I love all three of these films. The Wishing Stairs is probably my favorite of the three, but this has got to be my second favorite, with, of course, Memento Mori being the last. I need to rewatch these. Again, Korean horror is very, very impressive. They do a great job with it. I can't really say much more about that. Alright. This one I have not seen. It is called Air Doll. Now, I think I actually put this in by mistake because this is not horror themed, but it is weird. Let's say here, a present-day fable for the increasing disconnect of urban life. Kurada Hirokazu transports the Galatea myth to present-day Tokyo. A life-size air doll lives in a shabby apartment. She cannot speak, she cannot move, but she is the only companion her middle-aged master has. He talks to her, puts her in a bath, makes love with her every night. After he returns from work, his routine life is disrupted when fantasy turns into reality, when the doll suddenly comes to life. Fascinated by everything she sees, she doesn't understand what is going on around her, but sees a world waiting to be explored outside the apartment. A romantic fantasy that explores the complexities of love and loss, joy and pain, fantasy and reality, bittersweet love story that examines the intricacies and frailties of human existence. That does sound cool. Yeah, I was thinking of a different one. I have one called Blow Up Doll, which is what I was thinking this was, which is about a killer blow up doll. This one is one that looked interesting. I said, why not? I picked it up, I think, on a Vinegar Syndrome sale, and I like weird Japanese stuff, so I might get some enjoyment out of that. All right. Next up is, for my Alice in Wonderland collection, Alice in Terrorland. After a tragic death of her parents, Alice goes to live with her aunt, the palatial family home Wonderland. But curiouser and curiouser events are afoot as Alice starts to see strange figures in the house and soon disappears down a rabbit hole of terror. It's weird. I have seen this, but I don't remember it very much. And that should tell you all you need to know about the particular movie. Maybe I just blocked it out. It probably wasn't bad, because a bad movie, I'll remember the bad movie because I'll remember never to watch that again. But this one probably was just meh. No, doesn't mean I'm not going to try it eventually, or try it again eventually, but, maybe. So when we got a documentary, one that I need to see, but I haven't bothered to. I got this because it was on sale, because I really wasn't interested in it at the time. And that is the Aliens Expanded. So this is a documentary by the people who did In Search of Darkness. They do pretty good documentaries overall. They're very long-form documentaries. It's a nice little case. The actual thing inside is the same. For those of you who are big Aliens fans, like you just love Aliens, this would probably be a big thing for you. I am an okay watcher of Aliens. I've got the quadrilogy set. I've got Prometheus. I just don't have the new one. But I don't know. I guess for anything that you ever wanted to know about Aliens would be in here. I got this one. I got another one. I can't remember what that one was, and it was offering it for like half off on their site. So I was like, for $20. That's usually very cheap for these. So I went ahead and got it because I know it's going to at least be a very quality documentary, and that alone will make it worthwhile. So I know y'all know Art the Clown, but how many of you have followed him outside of his franchise to the original franchise, All Hallows Eve? So this is both All Hallows Eves. They are anthology films, but they do attach. Art the Clown is very prominent, at least in the first one, and he's a very different character. Even though I've heard that it does attach to the other movies, he is not quite the same type character. He's more of a supernatural clown than a sort of Jason Voorhees type character like you see in the other movies. I really enjoyed these anthologies. I think they're very scary, they're well worth looking at, and I do like to watch them when I can on Halloween time. I'm not sure whether I will this time. My wife does not like clowns, so I probably won't be watching these or Terrifier. I've watched Terrifier 1. I don't know if I've seen 2. I know I haven't seen 3. But I'm curious how that will be. Alright, one that I have not seen. Almost Invisible. Now let's see what this says here. To ease the weight of their college workload, unsuspecting teenagers seize the opportunity, I misspelled it, to turn their end of summer party into a house-wrecking foray. The popular clique accepts invite from the school freak as an excuse to have the party of their lives. If you haven't met him before, this is Ozzy, by the way. He is one of the 2 new kittens in the household. My wife always wanted a little orange boy, and so we have one now. As you can see, he's very happy. So, I don't know. This looks interesting. I think this came for free when I was getting something else on a micro-budget group. Sometimes they'll send you some free stuff. I just can't see myself actually picking this up on its own, but that's possible. Speaking of something that I oddly picked up on its own, is The Amazing Bulk. Now this one's semi-horror. This is one of the early works that David, you know him from his work with Camp Blood and so on. But yeah, Sterling, David Sterling. He's very proud of being a part of this. This is considered one of the worst movies alive. Very Hulk-like film. So I'm not sure. I've never seen it, but we'll see how this works out. Alright, another small budget one. All Your Friends Are Dead. Now, this one's pretty cool. I got this from SRS on one of their sales. After making a drastic decision to end his life, Matt Willoughby writes an email alerting his estranged high school friends that he will be saying goodbye for good at the camping grounds where they've gathered in the past. Matt's arrived to save his life, but little do they know, a deranged masked killer is lurking in the woods, ready to pick them off one by one. I like the premise of this. I am curious how this works, and I will be having fun with this when I get to it. Finally, we're going to end with Amityverse. This is the first in a trilogy. I'm involved in the second part of this trilogy, but one of my friends, Evan Jacobs, is actually involved in this. He actually did a short that was a continuation of Amityville Death Toilet, and that's really fun. There's some fun ones on here, and as far as anthologies go, it's got kind of a lazy wraparound. But sometimes people just look at anthologies because anthologies are kind of low work things you put together, even though I do know that they can be a lot of work. Tales of Forgotten, which, by the way, you can get. But yeah, I think the wraparound of this is fairly lazy, but otherwise the stuff in it and the shorts, that's what matters, and they're pretty decent. So if you haven't checked it out, you should, and definitely check out the second one when it comes out, which hopefully will be soon. So that's it for this time. Of course, if you are looking for something spooky this Halloween, our site down below helps support some indie creators, multiple ones. We've kind of banded together in this. I've got my film, which is Amityville Webcam. We have Philippe's short film, and it's just called Forrest, and you can get that as a standalone. You've also got Dave's two films, David Strayton, not Sterling, his two anthology films, Tales of the Forgotten Act 1 and 2, and of course, finally, you have the classic Kyle Rappaport, Doug Luke Godino film, The Shackled Demon Project. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you did, hit that subscribe, hit that like, and share, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
SeptumSin versus the world. It's that place for all the boys and girls. You'll feel real safe, you'll feel real warm. It's a cozy place to ride out the storm. SeptumSin. SeptumSin and his best boy Jake see the trends that scare us every day. Physical media is going to the side. Doctor streaming will rule the world.